You are not going to get these people to stay poor. You're not even going to get them to not want to be richer.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again. Today, after those two videos that I made that actually kind of ruined my day, they were a little kind of woo, you know what I'm saying? It's time to react to something a little more different, maybe going anti-woke, as we are going to watch today anti-woke speech, which seems to be very good. It's getting a lot of attentions, and I wonder why. So remember, if you like this unique contest that I keep displaying, like, share, hit the bell notification, and let's start.
You will not know this, but I was supposed to be the first non-student speaker for the proposition. I've now been the fourth, which means that I now have to thank all the previous speakers for making my best points for me. And I find that the main reason now that I have left to be in support of the motion is that I am so tired of talking about woke culture. That's why it's gone too far, more than anything else. And I thank the other speakers for making the points for me, because it means I don't have to reiterate the point that no, free speech is not some right-wing reframing of whatever. It's the foundation of Western civilization.
Yep.
Upon this civilization is built, and the Enlightenment values that led to it. I don't have to make the point that has been made by far better people in the past, that the only way to deal with the problem of racism is to treat people on the content of their character and nothing else. And the fact that woke culture seeks to overturn that is a new form of racism that we must all oppose.
Akon said it way better than everybody.
There were a lot of very foul people involved in the slave trade. There was, of course, Europeans, Jews and whites were involved, but, Africans were involved in it as well. They were selling off their enemies, the enemy tribes and making their money and so forth. Like, how was slavery really looked at out there?
Well, in Senegal, we've kind of overcome the thought of slavery. We don't even think about it.
I mean,
I think it's also the art of just letting the past go and moving towards the future. And I think in the U.S., they have this stigma of just not letting go of the past and blaming the past on every mishap or, disappointment. And I think as long as you hold on to that past, it's just a lot of weight that you carry with you everywhere you go. And it's hard to move forward and move fast when you got to, weight on your back. You just got to let it go.
It means also I will not use this opportunity to say I told you so, as someone who spent the last 5 years warning people in the West that if we continue to erode our culture, if we continue to undermine our confidence in Western values, that our enemies like Vladimir Putin will seek to capitalize on it. I will not make any of those points tonight, at all. Instead, I am not going to talk to those of you who already agree with me, which I imagine is most of you. I'm not going to talk to you because I imagine after everything you've heard tonight, you're going to vote for the proposition. I'm going to confess I will take your vote for granted. Tonight, I am the Labour Party and you are the Red Wall. Now, I want to talk to those of you who are woke and who are open to rational argument. A small minority, I accept.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, man, this whole woke thing is like so weird. It's like everything is a battle. Everything is a victim. It's like, I find it really weird. Like, when somebody says, hey man, you speak Spanish very well. A lot of people maybe in another country feel like, oh, I feel offended. I was born here. That's why I speak Spanish or English very good. And I'm like, of course they're shocked. Maybe they never met somebody from a different country. Maybe the people that immigrated from your country spoke English so bad, they are surprised when they meet one that speaks at your level. It's still a compliment.
Do you think my outfit is offensive?
Are you Mexican?
No.
Yes.
I think it reaffirms stereotypes that are offensive to people.
It's not yours.
What is this?
Does my outfit offend you?
You look, no. You look nice.
Do you like my costume?
Yes.
Does it offend you?
No.
Do you like my outfit?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Does my outfit offend you?
No, not at all.
No, nothing. That's good.
Because one of the tenets of wokeness is, of course, that your feelings matter more than the truth. But I believe in you. I believe there are those of you here who are woke, who are open to rational arguments, so let me make one.
Hopefully.
We are told that your generation cares more than any other about one issue in particular, and that issue is climate change.
You know what's so weird, man? I just wish they cared about just having fun in the moment. Kids. Back in the day, you didn't want to know anything about the news. Now, they're like, hey, man, we need to educate this generation.
Okay, kid, let's get to work.
They're kids. They'll always find a reason to disagree with you.
We're told that many of you suffer from climate anxiety. You wish to save the planet. And for tonight, and tonight only, I will join you.
Boundaries.
I will join you in worshipping at the feet of Saint Greta of climate change.
Oh my God, I cannot stand guys like him.
Let us all accept right here, right now, that we are living through a climate emergency and our stocks of polar bears are running extremely low.
Bro.
I join you in this view. Okay. I truly do. Now, what are we to do about this huge problem facing humanity? What can we in Britain do? We can only do one thing. You know why? This country is responsible for 2% of global carbon emissions, which means that if Britain was to sink into the sea right now, it would make absolutely no difference to the issue of climate.
Yeah, that is something that people have no idea. I think South America, India, and China are the main ones.
I got the power.
So you have to go tell those people that are poor to live in a different way.
That's the most unremarkable way to discover you have powers, and I love it.
Guess climate change. You know why? Because the future of the climate is going to be decided in Asia and in Latin America by poor people who couldn't give a shit about saving the planet. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's going to be decided by poor people in Asia and Latin America who don't care about saving the planet. You know why? Because they're poor. Because they're poor. I come from Russia, which is not a poor country, it's a middle-income country. 20% of households in Russia do not have an indoor toilet.
Oh my God. And I'm not laughing at them. I come from Curacao. There was a time, there were certain poor people that were just digging a hole because they had a big backyard. They were living a little into the mountains. It wasn't like old school, but it wasn't frowned upon. And I'm surprised when people that say, hey, I'm articulate, I live better than you, or bada bing, bada boom, I'm gonna tell you how you have to live.
Are you sure? That's an odd response.
And you're like, I bought an electric car. I'm helping you.
What they have is an outdoor toilet. And I don't mean one of those nice portaloos that we get here. I don't even mean a Glastonbury portaloo.
You don't even have that in actually third world country. You don't. You either go to a bar and you better buy a drink. You don't have that. It's a privilege. Come on.
I mean a wooden shack with a hole in the ground that holds a collected fermented memory of the last 10,000 visits. How many of you are going to go home tonight and say, let's rip out our bathroom and erect a Siberian shithouse in the back garden?
Disgusting!
And if you're not, why should they? 120 million people in China do not have enough food. I don't mean that they don't get dessert. I mean they suffer from malnutrition. That means that their immune system is breaking down because they don't have enough food.
I was spoken to my wife about this, which was interesting, that I told her, since I've been living in, not Holland was different, I was studying still, but now that I live in Spain, I got my job and everything, pay for everything, I'm never hungry. I don't want to be a big boss. As an immigrant, I'm happy. We have a stable, beautiful life. 2 kids, chill. But a lot of people are like, yeah, but I want to do this. It's my human right. There are people that even go as far, I need to be able to buy the clothes that I want. I'm like, you have no human right in my eyes. You have human luck. And you live with the best card that life have given you that you have drawn. If it's a bad draw, good. If it's a good draw, good. Because if you're thinking too good, you're going to make bad decisions anyway because you're stupidly confident. That's how I see it. That's how people from my country see it. And I would like people to appreciate what they're having, but they can't appreciate what they have because they are born with what they have. That's why it's my responsibility to teach my kids value. Not you telling me how I have to live. And the poor people.
You're not going to get them to stay poor. Imagine you're Xi Jinping, the leader of China. When you were 10 years old, there was a revolution, a cultural revolution in your country. And people came and they put your father in prison. Your mother had to denounce him. Your sister killed herself. And you, no longer enjoying the protection of your formerly powerful father, were sent to a village where you lived in a cave house.
If this is true, I would have to do some research. It would not surprise me why he is very dedicated to his own country and wants people to work in a specific way, because that's a very tribal story. And you will work very hard. That's like telling Mike Tyson, hey, go live back in the past. He would beat he would beat you up.
And here you are, decades later. You have clawed your way up the bloody and greasy pole of Chinese politics to be the undisputed supreme leader of the very Communist Party that destroyed your family. And you know that the main thing you have to do to survive and to stay in power is to deliver the one thing that the people of China want: prosperity, economic growth. Where do you think climate change ranks on Xi Jinping's list of priorities?
I think for Xi Jinping, it's way more important to remove all black characters from any Marvel post than freaking climate change. It sounds horrible. I'm not supposed to laugh at that. But it's quite clear his priority is so different. And we've been comparing him to Winnie the Pooh, like the most peaceful character. Of course he's pissed. He's like, dude, I'm not even close to that person. And I don't even want my people to see me like that. Strict government though, because if you say something wrong, it seems that you disappear.
A third of all children who live in extreme poverty in the world live in India. That means they are starving and dying of preventable disease.
True.
Now, about 15 months ago, my wife got pregnant. Not me, because we're old school.
Oh yeah, good. I'm old school too, man.
And for 9 months, we talked about what our boy would look like, what he might do when he grows up. We looked at baby scans and videos on YouTube about what the fetus looks like at 9 months and 12 months and 20 months. And eventually he was born. And he is this cute little bundle of joy. He's cuter than about 80% of puppies. Right? Now, if you said to me that I had a choice, either my son had a serious risk of starving or dying from a preventable disease in the next year, or I could press a button and he would live. He would go to school. He would bring his first girlfriend home. He'd go to university and graduate and become a woke idiot. And then he'd get a job and get married and have children and become a man. But all I have to do is press this button. And for every day of my son's life, a giant plume of CO2 is going to get released into the atmosphere. Now, you're all very young, and most of you are not parents. Let me tell you something. There is not a parent in the world who would not smash that button so hard their hand bled.
I hit it twice.
There you go. That's better.
And if I knew how amazing it was with all the negative things they told me about kids, I would have done it more. Even my wife agrees. Would have gone 100% for the third and maybe even for the fourth.
Jesus, figure that out, bro.
Because, hey, we enjoy it. We spend time.
You are not going to get these people to stay poor. You're not even going to get them to not want to be richer. And so, I put it to you, ladies and gentlemen, there is only one thing we can do in this country to stop climate change.
Okay.
And that is to make scientific and technological breakthroughs that will create the clean energy that is not only clean, but also cheap. And no, thank you.
Shut up. Why do you want to keep talking? He's making a good point.
Watch out. People might think it's a hate crime, bro.
I want everyone to get home on time today, which is not going to happen. And the only thing that wokeness has to offer in exchange is to brainwash bright young minds like you to believe that you are victims, to believe that you have no agency, to believe that what you must do to improve the world is to complain, is to protest, is to throw soup on paintings.
Yes. Orange painting.
And we on this side of the house are not on this side of the house because we do not wish to improve the world. We sit on this side of the house because we know that the way to improve the world is to work, is to create, it is to build.
And not complain.
It sounds willfully childish.
A city in Belgium offered 3 chickens per household to anybody that wanted a chicken. They had 2,000 families raise their hands and says, yeah, we'll take 3 chickens. So they got 6,000 chickens, distributed them through this city. First month, it dropped 100 tons of food waste to the landfill.
What?
And so not only did they eliminate the landfill waste, all these people now suddenly had chickens. And Pat's done all the math on this and shows that if 1 in 3 households had enough chickens to eat your kitchen scraps, there would not be an egg industry in the United States. It would be completely non-essential. Really? So that's the power of integration. That's the power of proximate, of actual putting stuff close, you know.
So they wouldn't have an egg industry because everyone would be growing their own
everybody
eggs.
have their own eggs.
The problem with this whole situation is that these people usually want to complain, but they want somebody else to do something. I believe that things in the world, they work with consistency, even if the smallest thing. But when we talk about this egg example, everybody's like, yeah, but that's not gonna help a lot. We need to do more. I'm like, yes, but we need to do a lot of little, and that will reach more. But complaining, asking for that more that you're not gonna do anyway, and then still be like, yo, I'm gonna complain for that, and hopefully somebody will do all the little.
That's epic. And the problem with woke culture is that it's trained too many young minds like yours to forget about that. Thank you very much.
So as you can see, we reached the end. I thought it was very interesting how he came with the story, how he represented himself, because I don't think people actually respect how bad the world actually is, how hard certain people have worked to make it even better than they consider it, because they were just born in a perfect world and they don't understand what people had to do. So all this woke crap, I understand the passion. What they don't understand is how horrible people have lived, what they did to reach a new point. And it's like wokeness is like a third wave feminist. It's like it didn't reach a point that was convincing of equality. It went way beyond to ensure safety for the people that never understood what happened in the past. It's not that it's a bad thing. It's like you're requesting way more than people that work hard would never understand that. When people tell me, yeah, we need to help black people more, I'm like, why? Why do you want to help them more? Because from all I can see is I just see way more victims because they deserve it. I teach my kid consistently, the world is unfair, deal with it. Papa, nah. Hey, I have one eye. I had no mom. Deal with it. Let's go. Gym. I spend time with them. I motivate them. I don't leave them out there. And then same these woke people like, oh my God, that's so cute. But I don't want to do a slave job. You see? It's weird because they don't understand the passion. Because I come from a very gangster past in a third world country that most people gonna be like, oh my God, that must have been horrible. But no, it was amazing. I didn't have like a small little depression until I came in a Western country when I started living comfortable and eating super delicious. A lot of people don't understand that because they've never been in a situation of a third world country. So they are fighting to stay at the level that they think it's their human right. I understand you. But stop telling me how I have to live in a privileged world that you consider a very bad world. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Don't want to make this too long. And see you guys in the next time. Next video. My bad. This MS brain is crazy.